coming, and hopefully I will be able to inspire you a little bit and just continue with the sparkles that Tatiana and the Minister and David have started prior to me. The reason why I'd like to share a couple of sparkles from the conference in Stanford is really to give the courage and maybe support to many good ideas that are nurturing and are flourishing in this region, not only in Slovenia, but the entire Eastern European and Balkan region. I think with the sharing, with talking to each other, with meeting each other, we can really move forward much faster than each of us just somewhere isolated try to move mountains, right? We can't move mountains by ourselves. We have to be connected, we have to be joined. After that is done, then the big progress and moves can be done as well. So what have I really learned from this year's and last year's Stanford conference? It's been very exciting, especially because there were some new ideas, and I just got a confirmation for many of those that I was able to see and meet and learn about here in this space. So first of all, in order to really land those elements well, I'd like to just share with you one of my views how I see the innovation space to be formed. I believe that this is extremely horizontal issue. So we cannot talk about a single stakeholder. We cannot talk about a single area that can just really move innovation constant forward. This is sort of a collaboration of all horizontal hierarchical interest groups together. So it's a state of mind. It's something that just moves not only an individual, but the entire country, the entire region, the entire space together. And we are learning with several pilot cases that we've been running for the last 5 years in Slovenia, that only when you get really all stakeholders moving and moving at the same sort of speed and just maybe one leading a little bit ahead and showing the light, then the results are really good, right? And that's what also the conference is showing. That's also what the results of this pilot project that we are running here in Slovenia are showing us all the time. So besides really the government, business, and R&D and academia, maybe, and I'm going to challenge David a little bit on this one, especially the Swedish model, is that we do need local communities. That's what our cases are showing. It's not enough just to do it in the offices. You have to go among people. You have to move really a little bit more of a critical number of people that into that direction in order to move the country, in order to move the region altogether. However, all of them are equally important. So, of course, not to say that one has a higher emphasis, but each of these elements has to play its own role. The role that is authentic to the core competences, the role that is really authentic to the knowledge and the skills that each of the groups is having. What we are learning also, that it's not just the initiatives of these particular groups. Extremely important is also what is their starting point. So what is really the physical infrastructure we're dealing with? Can we really play, today we're here to talk more about media, can we really be innovative, as the minister was provoking, and write about innovation if you're not using the most advanced innovative tools? Can you do that? Probably not, right? Probably it's hard to understand the quantum leaps that are done with other people using modern technologies. And besides that, intellectual infrastructure is extremely important because that's really, those are the elements we're dealing with. That's the combination of new knowledge and history and experiences is what really helps us to be even more creative, because we can be creative as much as our space allows us. So if we expand the space of thinking, then we of course expand at the same time also the possibilities of something new. And nevertheless, the social infrastructure, social capital is so extremely important. The self-confidence, the health, the positive energy that flies, people being able to exchange, willing to exchange information. That's what really moves the creativity. That is something that really moves the innovation space forward, right? And that's something that the innovation journalism as a tool really helped to bring to the light. Thank you, David, for being brave enough to just say, okay, I'm starting something new. I have a new concept here, and I believe that this is really an important move in the development of modern society because it gives us a very effective tool. It brought the consciousness that innovation is horizontal and the innovation needs to be discussed, and the innovation needs to be shared, and then we suddenly talk about attention workers, not only about knowledge workers. So, in order to really show you a couple of important moves that I kind of understand, how can I was trying to block all the time during the conference myself. Just help me. Just in order to be part of this also new technology, not only about new mind. And of course, it's not a perfect English. Of course, not everything is recorded. But I'd just like to show you a couple of moments of that conference and how I really perceived it. And you go down, let's start with the day one, all the way down. And the first day, what really struck me, I understood that each country approaches to this issue in a different way, which is very important for all of us to learn. So Sweden did it on a policy level mostly. Finland did it mostly on academic level. And we can say probably the same for California, which besides the academic level, they really moved hard on a media level and entrepreneurship level. And what I found out that with the contribution that we brought to the conference, the aspect of local community, and all the pilot projects we run together with the Center for Development from Lithuania, it really brought a new view to that aspect. So the importance of big masses and children and citizens and all other interest groups in that area. So later on, and on the day one, what was really important is that they gave a speech about basic definition. As was said at the beginning of his speech today, it's really important that we have a common language, that we really speak the same content, that we really know what we mean when we say innovation, when we say innovation journalism, when we say advanced technologies and advanced media, what that really means. So that is an important message that we got. Then the day two, keep going up. Yeah. The day two brought many different visions on how media is really implementing that, how different systems are implementing that. And that was an important platform to really get into how different media rooms are implementing the issue of innovation journalism. And then how on different academic level are approaching to the same issue. Like how students accepted the concept, what are the experiences from the academic environments. So all those aspects suddenly brought a common knowledge, and people from Israel came in, and the professor of communication technology suddenly realized that this is a great topic to add to his communication program. And that's the type of exchange of experiences and new ideas that is the right one, the one that we're looking for, that we can learn from each other. We don't all start from scratch, right? And that was a very powerful message. And the next one, or maybe the last one I'd like really to point out, is the message that came from one of the statues of modern technologies, so often overlooked because he was way ahead, and then usually people who are really way ahead at the end are easily forgotten. But he's the creator of the mouse, so the first true interface between human and cyberspace, right? And his speech was very emotional in the sense that he brought to conscious how important the human values are. So not to think only about in terms of technology, and when you write about innovation, when you pay attention to innovative progress, pay attention to human side as well, not only to technology side. And his appeal was really strong, and he's an extremely nice man and very charming, and I wish we could learn and hear more about and from him, because there's just so much to learn from wisdom that understands really the consequences, not only the beginning steps, right? So altogether, I don't want to spend too much of your time because we know that we can start it late, but what I'd like to share please, next. Yes, is really to steer the initiative, because I think that we are all about action. So if we just talk, probably it's not enough. We can share, but we have to get ourselves in action. So what I would propose is that we really start collaborating and starting the projects together on a regional level, on a cross-functional level. And maybe I'm appealing here to the minister, I'm appealing here to the colleagues from Sweden, from Croatia, from Montenegro, from Turkey, from Serbia, from, I'm sorry if I forgot somebody, but I know that I did. So we do have to start and really start pilot projects, because that's the only thing that really gives us some real hands-on experiences. And like our colleague Marko, from a professor from this university, he made a very brave step, and he made the first diploma on the topic of innovation journalism. So this is really the first research step in Slovenia that will show and start building up some sort of knowledge, and that knowledge has to be shared back to the media, has to be shared back to businesses. And that's how we're going to create the consciousness and really the knowledge about the potentials we have in this area. Not, as I said, only in Slovenia, but in the region as a whole. So, why Slovenia? Right? Everybody's asking, why Slovenia? Because it's small, and small is so cool. And it's so beautiful, because you can really move things, you can really do things, because you need, they did a research, in big countries you need 5 calls to reach anybody. In Slovenia, in small countries, you need only 3 calls to reach anybody, right? So we can get ourselves together on a horizontal level much faster than in big countries. And at the same time, we are really good representatives of all kind of social and of social structures. So we can really test the real the models in reality. So I've always seen Slovenia as a great incubator, not only for technological inventions, but especially for innovation space prototype. So let's test it. Let's continue testing this, especially on the community level. You know, truly cross-functional cooperation that could be done here. Sustainable growth modeling is for us the only way to really survive. We need stability in order to be creative. If you don't have stability, it's really hard to be creative, because you're pushed to on operational level, day-to-day activities. When you have stability, you dare to think much further, you dare to dream much further. And balanced development of all the key players is really the final message and the final need. Because when you work together, you're also stimulating each other to move forward together, to move forward in sort of balanced way. Only the balanced development brings with the long-term stability and growth. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, because we're able to do a really fast manifestation, right? And I'm sure that at the end of tomorrow, when we're going to have at the end also a very productive workshop, we're going to come up with a much more substantial and much more clear initiatives, and hopefully bring them to public and get support to move forward, as we all, I'm sure, are eager to do. And thank you very much for your time, and Susan, the word back to you.